Friday vlog. We're gonna try some new structure. Also, I'm too high. Hold on. So we're gonna do segments now. So let me get back to where I was. There's a cat walking around behind me. Yeah, so this is gonna be like a functioning thing. So I always play with my camera, so first thing I'm going to talk about is the camera. So today I'm doing the experiment that I'm doing with the camera is I switch it over to 60 frames per second because I'm trying that. So I put it at 60 frames per second at 100 shutter speed. Yeah, as a thing, not 120, but as 100 because I want to try my slow motion experiment. So yep, everything else is the same though. And the next time I'll probably change the lens, but this time I still wanted my autofocus lens. Yeah, okay, so camera, that's what I'm doing. So yeah, did I write this week? I wrote log lines, so not really, although I think log lines are super important. No. Nuts and bolt writing? No. Shame on me. Did I read this week? Not really. Not like I should have. Although I don't usually read a lot anyway, unless I have a gig where they're making me read a lot, and then I just do it. But didn't really read a lot. And I should. Shame. Did I watch stuff? Yes. Didn't watch enough, but I did. I've been powering through episodes of episodes because it's grown on me. Also, I drank a box of wine and watched the new Jumanji movie and was tickled by it. I'm trying to think what else I've been watching. I need to catch up on corporate. I keep trying to watch this cartoon that's coming out on TBS, like something space, Final Space or something. Haven't watched it yet though. Trying to think what else I've watched. I don't know, YouTube stuff. I watched Tony and Chelsea Northrup's vlog where they talk about the death and rise and death of GoPro, which was pretty interesting. It's just about a true crime story, so that was pretty entertaining. Uncomfortable format. Part of it is hold on, there's a cat trying to escape. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little uncomfortable. Maybe the discomfort is good. I'm not sure yet. I would argue most of the time discomfort means you're doing something right. What else did I watch? Didn't watch Black Panther. Apparently everybody did, and apparently it's good. I might watch it sometime. I'll watch it eventually. I just don't care about superhero movies anymore. I had to have watched something. I don't know. And we'll go right into writing tip. So, yeah, I think this vlog from now on, the sort of the meat of it is going to be the freewheeling talking stuff, like always, but it's going to be about something. So this time I want to talk about log lines because I was writing log lines this week, and it got me thinking about it because log lines are really, really tough. But they're sort of like stock and trade in the industry. Like everybody will ask for a log line no matter what, even though I think in a lot of circumstances they're almost useless. Specifically if you're not selling high concept stuff. So if you're selling sort of character driven stuff, high concept is just about unusable because it doesn't. If you write a log line, you're sort of teasing the plot and a little bit of the characters, but you're not really. There's no way to properly get a sense of the characters, and so anything that's not plot driven or plot prioritized doesn't really work very well. My big example being half-hour comedies. There's no way to really hear the comedy out of a log line. The style of the comedy can go many, many different ways, and it's really hard to deliver that in two sentence fashion. So I don't know. But again, it's better than nothing. If somebody asks for a log line from you, they're interested enough that they want to hear the initial part of what you want to talk about, which is a good step. So it's more of a formality a lot of times than it is an actual thing, I guess. But jumping off of that idea of log lines, because I don't know that log lines are important, but they imply something that I do think is very important, which is the initial idea of what you're writing. Because you can get good at writing and you can still have bad ideas. I would argue it's easier to get good at writing than it is to have good ideas, like properly fleshed out ideas. So it got me thinking, because at some point I will graduate this MFA and be able to teach, and that's a whole different story, but it would be nice to, like, I do want to teach. I really like the idea of teaching. However, I was thinking about like if I was given just a blank slate class, which an incoming teacher would never get, but if I was given that, like, how would it go? And because realistically it'd be like at a community college and it would be just like a survey class. I wouldn't try to go through the trouble of teaching the students how to format a screenplay. Both because screenplay formats are evolving constantly and they're always different depending on what sort of show format you're in. A multi-camera script doesn't look a whole lot like a single camera comedy script. So it's sort of it's like a technical skill that you need to absorb. So I don't think that's a really good use of time if you're taking a survey class that is about screenwriting. Therefore, I think what I would spend almost all the time on would be coming up with a great idea, like molding a proper idea with a logline connected to it, molding the initial pitch that is about the story and the characters and the direction, because all the technical stuff can be learned and can be sort of refined, but you do need a very specific amount of attention to the initial idea to make it work. So if I were teaching a survey class and they were just like, we don't have any stuff, so just do whatever you want with the curriculum, I would be great. If it's a 9-week program, 8 weeks are going to be spent on the idea. So a couple weeks on coming up with ideas and like what ideas work and what ideas don't tend to work and that kind of thing, and then just refining the core idea, because again, everybody can write a mundane script. They're really easy to write. That's why producers tend to write scripts and then realize they don't want to do that and end up producing, is because the actual, like, the good things about good scripts are usually idea motivated. So, walk into this community college full of 19-year-olds and I say, hey, we're going to write scripts. And they say, hooray, we're going to write scripts. And I say, don't bother trying to read it'd be good if you learned how to do the format, and also there's formatting software out there, so you don't necessarily need to know it super well. And also that can be solved just by reading a bunch of produced scripts to figure out how things look. However, the idea, the thing that you'd be pitching, the thing that's in your mind, the thing that attracts you to the project, we'll work on that. Because I think that's more important. I think, like, in the same way memorization is not a forte of mine, in that same vein, I think what's attractive about an idea is it's such an inherent thing that you don't have to memorize anything. You just know it and you can describe it cold every single time because it's just inherent. This is an uncomfortable vlog. I mean, I'm not saying it's the bright windows that are facing me that are actually evenly lighting my face for the first time ever, but it's also just, for some reason I don't have confidence in this, how I'm doing this. And it's less freewheeling, which I guess I like, but I don't know. I'm definitely, the muscles are saying go back to freewheeling, but I know the freewheeling doesn't work. Like, it's too stale. So do I want to say anything more about the idea? I guess not. Box office. Let's talk about the box office. Let me get my computer. So the big movie last week was Black Panther, and it was incredible in every way. Not that I saw it, but I heard it was critically great and inspiring and all this other stuff. And my computer, when I close it, turns off now. All right, well, this is going to have a few cuts in it, I guess. That sucks. So, I'm trying to think what else how I can make this useful, because it's not, this blog is never going to be like a teaching course, because you need to like plan those and have like a beginning, middle, end, and like mission and state, all that stuff. But I do recognize that it's also not, like, what I've been doing is also not constructive. It's just sort of like repeating back stuff that pops in my head, and that's not useful to anyone or anything. It's not, I mean, I do have more on the logline thing. So I've been really coming across this because I did a bunch of photography the other day, and I'm super burned out on photography because I just keep doing landscapes and I'm running out of places that I haven't been. And I'm too lazy / sporadic to go through the process of finding a model and shooting a model, but I do want to get into portrait photography. But I do realize that despite the fact that I'm pretty much not thinking about photography when I go do photography, and I'm just letting my brain turn off and take pictures of whatever I want, when I come back to like look at the pictures, I realize I'm trying to find a story. So I've heard a lot of photographers and videographers and everybody else, painters, are, the aim is the same as screenwriting when you're doing something creative, is you're finding the story or you're telling the story. And I recognize that a reason my photography has hit a wall is because I don't have a story. I just have a couple things or a few things that look pretty to me. So it's an interesting point of view, because it's changed my outlook, because I'm totally burned out on going to places because I've been to the places now. But if I went to if I went to a repeating place and actually had a story in mind, or had a mission story, that would refresh it for me. That would give me a new angle on how to take these pictures. So it's really interesting. But I think it's a super efficient way to go about portrait photography, which is you have a model and you're taking pictures, but you're also, there is a story in mind, unless it's purely headshots and then you're just trying to look good. But even then, you have the comedy one, you have the dramatic one, you have the story. So there's the story that, like, I guess that I would put into that college class too that I'd be teaching, or high school class, let's be honest, is you're always looking for the story. You're a creative documentarian. You're always trying to find the through line that is worth remembering, and things worth remembering tend to be stories. So finally got to box office. All right, as they're drilling. So last week I guessed Black Panther, 50 Shades, Peter Rabbit, Jumanji, 1517 to Paris. I got Black Panther, I got Jumanji, and I got 1517 to Paris. So apparently Peter Rabbit beat 50 Shades and got second place by $200,000. Which I guess is more about 50 Shades' ability to stay than it is about anything else. But so 3 out of 5, that's not very good. And then the last thing, this weekend, so the 23rd, I have to pee too. Jesus Christ. This is a mess. I'm going to say Black Panther again. I'm going to say Game Night, which is coming out. I'm going to say Peter Rabbit, Annihilation, 50 Shades. So in this logic, I'm saying that Black Panther is again going to blockbust because it is and has. I'm going to say Game Night, the new thing coming out, might be okay, and it's got a lot of star power, even though star power doesn't matter anymore. And then I'm thinking Peter Rabbit has legs because everything else is tiny. I'm thinking nobody's going to watch Annihilation, which I'm going to watch Annihilation because I love sci-fi and it looks good. And I'm thinking 50 Shades is going to be so much worse than Peter Rabbit that it's going to get 5th. That's what I'm thinking. Good science experiment. I think the results are this didn't go very well, but we will keep chipping away. I'm not going to relax back into mediocrity or whatever you would call the incredibly boring stuff that I was doing. But I don't know if it didn't feel good to me. Maybe in the edit it'll feel better, but keep writing, keep telling stories. Bye.